Today on Styrene Modeler's Haven. Oh boy, that is a lot of decals. 4 props times 8 blades each equals how much masking do I have to do? Why is everything multiplied by a factor of insanity with this model? Will I ever finish it? Let's find out on We've all had that build. Poorly fitting parts, never-ending seams and joints that need to be filled, so much sanding it seems like you have to rescribe all the detail that you lost. It was everything not to put this model on the shelf of doom. Finding my mojo, I am ready to finally put some decals on this model. Yeah, you'd think it'd be that easy, but nope. I got a sheet of bad decals. No matter what I do, I can't get these decals to separate from the backing paper. At first I thought I'd have to get creative and try to scan the decal sheet and reprint them on new decal paper and try to work something out from there. But luckily, by putting out some feelers out on the internet on modeling groups, I was able to get another sheet of decals. Well, with that potential setback averted, I can keep trucking on. So time to gather up the troops and get excited about putting on over 100 decals. To keep the decals from silvering, I always start with a gloss clear coat over the entire model so that the decals will stick down nice and smooth. With the model slicked down, it's a little bit of a quick wet sand to get rid of any trash that got into the clear coat. Luckily, the new sheet of decals were of high quality, so they went down pretty nicely. Using my go-to set and solvent, the decals set down evenly and sucked down into all the details with no problems. Then it was just a matter of getting all these decals onto the model, so several sessions at the bench, having to get creative sometimes on how to get some of these decals on, working my way around the entire model, a few here, a few there. Phew! And there we have it, over 100 decals on this Grizzly. The decals did come with the yellow stripes that go on the propeller blades, but I didn't like the color of the yellow. So to punish myself even further, I decided, hey, let's paint them. Unlike most propeller blades where just the entire tip is painted yellow, this one had a split in the paint, so I had to do some interesting masking. Using thin strips 1mm wide, I had to place a mask, remove a mask, place a mask, remove a mask, eventually getting the area masked off the way I wanted. Alright, with that insanity out of the way, I can go ahead and take it to the paint booth and get that yellow paint on. Starting first with the white so that I got a good base for the yellow to go over, and then finally, in my eye, the proper yellow color. Now let's get these blades demasked and see if it was worth going with paint instead of decals. Whether they look better than the decals, they're painted now, so I'm going to send it. There's a silver or a bare metal edge on the tip of each of the blades, and I got to paint that too. To match the curvature of the blade, I took the other set of propeller blades that came with the kit, the ones in flight, I cut off one of the blades and I used that as a guide to cut the masking tape. And here we are again, every blade, both sides. These propellers almost turned out to be a model all by themselves, but finally got everything masked up. It's ready to go to the paint booth again. A shot of some aluminum paint, let it dry, and then I can get to demasking. Hey, this is looking pretty good, even though it was a lot of work. So moving right along, with everything decaled up and painted, I can now put a clear coat over all the parts so I can seal in all those decals from any future weathering. Another quick wet sand on that clear coat to smooth everything out, and we're getting one step closer to finishing this model. It's time to get this bird on its own legs, but I first got to put together 6 of these assemblies. The kit comes with these plastic hubs. One pin goes into the wheel and the other pin goes into the landing gear. Honestly, I don't think these are going to hold up, so I'm going to have to modify them. To strengthen the landing gear assembly, I go ahead and clip all the pins off the hubs. After that, I drill out the center of the hub and I also drill out the landing gear. Now, using brass wire, I go ahead and pass the wire through the landing gear strut, and then on one end I put one hub on. Then I can put the tire on one side of the landing gear. Using a grinding wheel, I cut off the brass wire on the other end. A little bit of sanding to smooth out the cut, and finally I'm able to slide on the other tire. The nice thing is everything was a press fit, so I didn't have to use any glue. This really strengthened up the landing gear, but of course I had to do it 5 more times. Being a transport aircraft and only having served for around 10 to 15 years in different air forces around the world, this aircraft isn't going to get real dirty. From the reference pictures I've seen, a lot of them look almost brand new, even if they're 15 years old. With that in mind, I'm keeping the weathering down to a minimum, just going to do a pin wash. Using a dark brown color mixed from oil paints and thinner, I go around the model filling in all the panel lines. Being a light gray monotone color, this pin wash will help break up the aircraft a little bit and help accentuate the details. Getting real close to finishing this build, and it's down to the final assembly. I start off by putting all those reinforced landing gears into their wheel wells. And of course we've got to do the front landing gear as well. One nice thing about this model is that the propellers were a press-on fit. I didn't have to use any glue. This makes it convenient that I'm able to pop these props off in case I ever want to take this aircraft to a model show. Things are moving nicely now, so I just got to put in some of the landing gear doors, starting with the front doors. Moving on to the rear doors. And once the glue is set, I'm finally able to put this on its own landing gear. And not forgetting the small details, I pop in all the little antennas that go across the spine of the aircraft. To lock in that pin wash and get rid of all that gloss sheen and make this model look more realistic, I hit the entire model with a matte clear coat. Not only does this tone down and flatten the finish of the model, making it look more realistic, but it also brings out a lot of that pre-shading work I did when I was painting the model. In the modeling world, it's said that there is no such thing as an unbuildable kit. This build definitely tested my modeling mojo. It seemed like everything that could go wrong with the model did, and there were several surprises along the way, making this build a bit of a challenge. And with that, my modeling friends, the 1/72nd Revell A400M Grizzly. Thanks for watching the Grizzly build video, and I hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to like, subscribe, and let me know what you thought about this build down in the comments. Was there a product in this build that you'd like to get your hands on? Well, we can help each other out. You can find links of products down in the description, and if you click those links and make a purchase, I get paid a small commission at no cost to you. Thank you. Did you know I have an eBay store where I sell new and vintage model kits? Check out my ever-changing inventory of model kits, and you can get 10% off by using the code YouTube10 at checkout. Be sure to watch some of my other build videos, including the full build on this 1/72nd Airfix Victor. Thanks for watching.